Alright, hitting go live. It's been pressed.
Yes, you did, Stuart. Yes, you did.
I did.
And you notice how I always up the saturation of all my, shots for these shows, because they're never colourful enough.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I always obviously brighten them, obviously, and I also saturate them more, because New Trek does not like colour. Luckily, Prodigy, effing beautiful, and Lower Decks, pretty damn colourful. Stuart, let me start with a question. How excited are you for Prodigy to start again?
Super excited. When is that? Do we know when it's starting?
Well, no, just this year.
Oh,
but in
I'm
comparison
excited.
to Picard, Stuart. Because you just
Yes.
go off Prodigy into Discovery, and then into Picard, and then into Picard.
And then into Strange New Worlds, which we're not sure about yet. So.
Boy, Prodigy's looking much better now, isn't it? The kid show.
Yeah, Prodigy never looked bad, though, honestly.
No, but we thought this might be the... It's just funny how the best ones are easily the animated. Not even by a close mile.
Yeah.
Like, not even close. Especially with the fantastic reveal at the end of Prodigy. It's like, oh, more stuff to come.
Matt Boardman, but muted colors means it's more cinematic. No, it really doesn't. What movie did I watch the other day? It's Solo, a Star Wars story. That is a muddy movie. It's not colorful at all. I thought something was wrong with the colors on my TV. So I'm like watching it in 3D and I'm adjusting the colors and the brightness. And it's like, wait a minute. I shouldn't have to be adjusting this because it's all set perfectly. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, welcome back, guys. It's time to talk about another episode of Picard, episode 8. We're only 2 more to go till the end. Can't you tell? So much cool stuff is happening.
Yes, they really escalated the stuff. Wait, no, they didn't.
No, they didn't. Oh, Kit 10K sent us a PayPal.
This is a weird one, guys. This is a really weird one. I'm going to put a poll in. I don't know what I'm going to put in, but I really want to know what you guys think.
Yes, hit a like, everybody. We have 60 people here. Let's try to get the likes up to at least 50. Let's see what Kit is saying here.
Okay, I'm going to be very...
$50. Thank you so much, Kit.
Ooh, that's very good.
Fucking YouTube still won't let me super chat. But Stuart, the 3D printed Ghost of Foley I made for you was rescheduled to today and will be going out to tomorrow. Cool. And Samuel had a 3D printed Trekyards comm badge made out of steel for you that'll be going out tomorrow too.
Jesus.
Steel Trekyards comm badges?
There's so many good words in that sentence. I think all the words actually go in that sentence. Wow.
Thank you, Kit. Much appreciated.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if super chatting's not a problem. I'm just going to ask if anybody else could super chat, but Casual Trekker just did with $5. Would the way the story is going play better in a binge rather than week to week drop? Yes, 100%. I gotta say though, and I know you're not done the poll yet. Oh yes, you are. Hold on. What's the poll? Hold on before we get into that. The poll is: did you enjoy this episode? Yes, really did. No, really didn't, or it was meh. Please go vote. The results are already awesome. All right. Yeah, this one, well, yeah, it'll be better as a binge for sure. I gotta say, it's not as razor thin as some of the episodes of season 4 of Discovery, but it's getting there. It's getting there.
Honestly, though, I think binge, it will still grab you as, oh, there'll be more story next week. And then you'll think that every single week until the last episode, where there'll be story again. And you'll forget everything in the middle.
Yep.
And you won't think about the Ice Raider stuff. You won't think about the... Sung's daughter being ill, I guess, but that's come around again.
Corey. Yeah.
Oh, Renee of Watchers.
Well, we'll have to see what the last 2 episodes hold, man. I don't know.
Hopefully a lot. Just by pure nature of... They need to hold lots of stuff, lots of story. But Stuart, I'll start sharing so we can start debating. See you in a minute.
Please do. Yes, we'll get into the discussion soon, guys. And in the meantime, like I said, super chats are a great way to support the channel. Help us out if you can, if you're able to. I'm sorry that Kit 10K can't super chats, as super chats and PayPals both go towards different kind of expenses. Anyway, if you can super chat, please do. Let us know your thoughts on this episode while we're talking about it. Anything you that we're talking about that you want to comment on. Super chats are a great way to get them seen and read because we do read them all on the air. So we will discuss them. You can also send a PayPal, as Kit did, to trekyards@hotmail.com. That is another way to get in touch with us. You can support the channel that way and also get your comment or question read via that. We'll just read it via the email. What else? Oh, lots of things. The description down below has lots of links. Affiliate links for Eagle Moss, discount codes for Eagle Moss, Trekyards 10. Just go fill your cart. Use the affiliate link, though. It helps them to know where the traffic's coming from, which helps us as well. There's also the TeePublic store, the Teespring store. TeePublic store has some really great merchandise, Trekyards wise. So if you want some Trekyards swag, go check that out. There's also a join button. Haven't asked for new members for the last few lives, but if we can maybe get 2 new members during this live, that'd be awesome. Click that join button and see what your options are to help us on a monthly basis. It's not very much a month for some of the lower tiers, and you can get yourself a rank and a little badge beside your name and some cool emojis to use in the live chat. So click the join button and at least take a look and see what you may be able to help us out with in that regard. We would really, really appreciate that. Other than that, by all means, just hit that like button. We're still not at the 50. We're 2 away. I think we can get there. I'm going to up it to 75 now because we have 84 people here, but this is the way. Okay, thank you. Windows Defender summary. Windows Defender antivirus did not find any threats at your last summary. Your device was scanned 4 times. Thank you, Windows. Anyway, justice, #justice for Duquesne. Oh, from 2 accounts. My man.
I'm just trying to spread the word.
Let's get into these super chats. Metallica fan 1442 throws in £5.
Thank you
so much. For me, the season declined so much from the first few episodes and got a bit meh this week. That's what happens when you put Akiva Goldsman in charge of the rest of the season.
And remember, guys, he's the showrunner of Strange New Worlds.
Oh, goody!
Like the solo, that's his show. That's the one he pitched to Alex Kurtzman, like in Discovery season 1. He said he's wanted to do for a long time.
Oh dear God!
It's not going to be the show you guys think. Seriously, don't lower the expectation of Strange New Worlds, please. Please, you know. Anyway, hi.
Wow, pessimism runs rampant here. Anyway,
Akiva Goldsman, 2 words. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, there's certain people that you know, it's just. It's like if you heard George Lucas wrote a script, you'd be like, oh.
Yeah.
You know.
Ray Ricks puts in £5.
Thank you.
This whole 2024 storyline could have been done in an episode, in an Enterprise style 3-episode arc. Season should have been around 6 episodes. Yeah, we were saying the same thing for Discovery season 4. Absolutely.
Wait, and all of those flubs were in the super chat?
Yes, they all were.
You read them perfectly. Wow, that's commitment to super chats, eh?
Damn right, man. Yeah. Super chats are important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It would be interesting though to cut this down to 6 episodes.
Kit sent another PayPal.
I don't even think it'd be a better season, just be a quicker season. Does that make sense? Like there isn't really shining notes of epicness in the season to pull from, but you take out the less interesting stuff. It wouldn't be necessarily great, it would just be shorter.
Kit 10K throws in another $10 in PayPal, so thank you.
Beautiful.
Forgot to tell you, Samuel, the comm badge I made has 2 pairs of small magnets with it that will hold it in place on your shirt.
Nice. Very, very useful for all things. I tend to go Velcro on my badges so you have a placement for where they go. But what's great is that you can put the magnets like in the same placement with Velcro, so it's good. You've created a fine space. Yeah.
The Cynical Optimist, £5. Do we know if Goldsman has had much input in writing of season 3 of Picard? Because if so, I might just crawl into my grave early. He doesn't, as far as I know. Apparently, that's more Terry's job. So Terry did the first 2 episodes of this season, and it shows. So hopefully, season 3 follows that trend. Yeah.
I mean, some because he's one of the highest ups at the Bad Robot the Naughty Dog, whatever, not but the the production company that they all run. But Terry's obviously much smarter than him, so hopefully he said, "No, I'm not doing that." What do you mean? But it's amazing though, because it means that just like with season 1, they had pieces to pick up from. They've once again broken the vase on the floor, and they've got to pick up all pieces again for season 3. They're not going to build upon season 2. They're going to sort of start again. What's the point? Then do we even care that if the Borg Queen's a Borg Queen? Not really anymore. It's like, it's been stretched so far. I don't. Is it Jurati? I don't know. I don't care. Sorry. Is it 7? I don't know.
Sean O'Sullivan, €2. So thank you. Final episode, Duquesne beams away the Kaiser Soze ending. Oy.
Yeah, maybe. Well,
Anyway, so my thoughts.
Yes, Stuart. What are your thoughts of season 2, episode 8? And have you thought differently after having several rewatches?
Yeah, it's worse.
Oh, good.
Yes. I don't know. It's not a great episode. I thought the last one was better, even though it was more like.
Stuart, we think the last one's better. Unified front there. We do. No hesitation. Yeah. No hesitation on that.
This one just felt very disjointed. There were a lot of little issues that cropped up, which we'll get to when we review it. But overall, kind of blah. Duquesne was a huge disappointment, Wells was a huge disappointment.
Just call him not Duquesne.
Yeah. Guinan, though, was a kind of a bright spot. The more we see this Guinan, the more I like her, the more she feels like Guinan, so that's good. Q was kind of pathetic in a way, but he's dying, so I guess that's the point. But I was ashamed there was no Picard interaction. It would have been great if he would have walked into the room with Wells there. But
a time agent, a future cyborg, and a Q walk into a room, and an Elorian,
Yeah,
that would have been. That would have been a good scene if they'd all been the characters that we think they were. That would have been a cool scene.
Yeah,
just saying.
The Q scene with Corey was pretty good. I did enjoy that, but the Corey and Soon stuff was just not anything interesting for me. The Raffi and Seven stuff. At least Seven sounded like Seven quite a bit in this episode. She had a bigger part, and the Jurati was actually great. The actress Alison Pill, she did a good job pretending to be the Borg Queen at the end there. Sounded very much like her.
Isn't Alison Pill like the Cinderella story of this season? For sure.
Yeah.
Like just get her out of season 1 and then just bright star in season 2. That is an amazing thing to take pretty much the worst character except Elnor, who they killed.
There's a good segue. Speaking of Cinderella's story, where did she get those shit kicker boots? Last time we saw her in that ball ground, she was wearing red high heels.
The guy that she killed, I assume?
Nah, he's way tall. He was way taller than her in the bar. His feet would be way too big.
She could just she's a Borg Queen. Does she care about feet fitting the size of the boot?
Well, if you look at her walk, they obviously fit her feet perfectly. They're not guys' boots.
They're sizes too big and just happen to...
Okay, yeah. Maybe she assimilated them.
Well maybe... she nanoprobe reconstructed them. Yeah, that's why she couldn't assimilate. She was too busy doing her foot attire.
Yeah.
Or maybe she stole. She also had to break 4 cars, so maybe there was shoes in one of the windows, and she thought, "Oh, I'll use those instead." Although you would think the Borg Queen could turn off pain receptors and therefore be able to run in high heels without an issue. Just saying.
Yeah. Let's see. Almost done here. Hold on. The Picard interrogation scenes. Some of them are good. The Duquesne flashback thing was annoying.
They're not Duquesne, Street. Not Duquesne.
Well, yeah. See, I have a theory that could still maybe be Duquesne. But we'll get there when we get there. Anyway, it was just a lot of... there's some good musical cues, like when Picard asks Wells for help, you get that big Star Trek swell, and then immediate cut. It's like, what? That was not good. And then the Borg Queen thing at the end, where she's walking towards the mercenary. Speaking of, how the hell did the mercenaries beam aboard the ship or get to France? Think they'd be freaked out by being beamed to the ship? I think so.
Well, they're assimilated now, so it doesn't matter.
Well, now it doesn't matter, but they're not like... They weren't raising a stink prior. I don't know. It's just weird how they got there. Anyway, that's all I have to say.
And it would take surely more than like 20 minutes to bring in some mercenaries fully armed and bring their kit, and yet no time's passed for everyone else. Like, that feels like 2 or 3 days have passed to try to get everyone together. I don't think there's a mercenary team 2 doors down in his LA suburb hanging out. Oh, hey, YouTuber on your PewDiePie on the left, Assault Team on the right. LA's filled with stuff.
And where is Rios and the Teresa and the kid? They were on the ship last time we saw them, are they not?
Yes.
So where are they now?
Well, what do you mean? They're still on the ship. We haven't got to the ship yet, Stuart.
They're on the ship.
No, they're not. They're in Sung's lab. They're in his garage.
Are they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense then.
Yeah.
Fine then. Be that way. I thought they were on the ship. The lighting just did not feel at all like Sung stuff.
Well, that's the point. It's like the underground dodgy assault team lighting.
Okay, I'll buy that for $1. Okay, yeah, that's it. For me, the episode just kind of meh. There we go. That's my summation. How about you?
Yeah, I'll do a poll about this in a little bit, but it's just disappointing. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. What helps it from me from being mad is that Picard is still Picard. And he's not being done disservice to. He's not being utilised particularly well, but he's not being done disservice to. That helps a ton. Brent is still a good actor, so it's nice to see him do good acting. Okay, that helps. Guyan, much better. Helps, although inventing a new superpower out of nowhere, which would be useful in TNG, is always a bad move. Because it's just, no. Because that means also, like, Soren could have used it. You know, every other woman we've ever met. They've all got superpowers now to astral project. It's like, right. Huh, okay. Yeah, it's as I said to you previously, it's an episode of B-plots. There's no A-plot, there's 4 B-plots, none of which are developed enough to be interesting, all of which are slow enough to be not interesting, and none of them are given money enough to be visually engaging, because we have Picard spend the entire episode in a blank grey room, the entire episode, most of it sitting down, boom. We have Q scene in a blank grey room standing up, boom. We have Rios' plot in a black, dark, Lasserina set, boom. We have Brent in his one lab, boom. A little bit outside. And the girls are in an alley. I mean, there's no creativity here. There's no let's go after Gerati and she's gone to this big, elaborate, LA location that looks fantastic and we have to find her and that's just in the alley. 30 meters from the bar. She's been there for 9 hours. It's like, okay. It felt super cheap, super underwhelming, and 8 episodes in. That's really bad. And we did think the same for Discovery a little bit as well. It was meant to get momentum, and then it suddenly grabbed momentum at the end. And we've talked to Rob Bonchoon, and he always said that they spend money at the start, at the end, and then they sort of money everywhere else. So they're going to put more money in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Great. But it's a slog to watch this show, and this was the one that we were expecting good things to start happening. And it's bad if it takes the last 2. Especially when this is Patrick Stewart is the only been Picard 12 more times. And he's wasted this week. 12 more times. They could have written anything Patrick Stewart to do. Anything. And this is what they chose to write for him. Like, the solemn duty of respecting Star Trek and living it up to it is just not here. It's just not, This is not going to be a season that anyone talks about in 10 years' time. Yeah. This is going to be the... of Star Trek. And there's no other season I can think of that would be the same example. Every other season has something. Either Enterprise Season 1 being a bit boring, TNG Season 1 being less good, Season 7 being not as good as it should be. Everything's got something, but what's here to talk about? There's just nothing here. It's weird.
What's your response to Dan Ben there? Star Trek has done episodes before set in 1 or 2 locations.
And they were normally better because they're better written. Like, normally you have good story and good characters and good thing. Like things, we love bottle shows, but an alley is not as interesting as a Starfleet corridor. A grey office, the Picard room, is not as interesting as a, like the courtroom set in Measure of a Man. It's just a redress of the... But it looks more interesting. It has that Star Trek feel.
Mm-hmm.
I will take an entire movie on the Bridges Enterprise. I'll take 90 minutes on that one set and I can make it work, That's not the point. It's that they also don't include other stuff. Yeah, compared to Halo, which is expensive, yeah. Halo definitely feels more expensive.
And Squadron Core is just my 2 cents, but I still think it's better than Disco. Yes, it is better than Disco.
Which Disco, though?
Well, Season 4 had me at the beginning, just like Picard did, and then very quickly did this exact same thing, stretching this out. And I just...
Well, Season 3 of Discovery is much better than this season. For me, much better.
I would agree. Yeah.
Season 4 is also very bland. but it's got more episodes. But that's probably a bad thing because it stretched the story even more. But it did stick the landing. That's important to remember. It did successfully stick the landing. And it didn't do some of the trends we expected them to do. But as I said to someone else today, would you rather have... if you watch Discovery Season 1, you want to hurt yourself throughout the season with plot holes and pain and stupid canon. But it's engaging with its stupidity. This is not that engaging. Would you rather watch hard to watch bad or okay to watch medium? That's a hard question.
Well, let's get to some super chats. I Am Misi throws in $10. It took me 3 tries to finish this episode over yesterday and today. Damn. Matt Boardman, $5. Read an article today about why Goldsman is the worst, written in 2017. Such a sad thing when people are allowed to fall upward. That's called nepotism and knowing the right people, and that's all I'll say. Ozzy throws in $5. Thank you, Ozzy. Board Queen cowboy boots are made to be assimilated with hot red dress. Well, they weren't cowboy boots. They were definitely like military grade shit kickers. But hey. Taylor T, $20.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you. This episode gave me the same feeling that I get when I need to sneeze, but it stops before I can. I feel frustrated. I'm still secretly holding out that Duquesne is actually here and upholding the Temporal Prime Directive. Yep, me too. And I love that whole anticipation of a sneeze with no payoff. That's exactly what this is. Oh my God. I have a theory about Duquesne that might, just grasping at straws at this point, but hey, we'll get there when we get there. Mark, member for 22 months at the rank of Commander. Mark Phillip, thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Hashtag justice for Duquesne.
Hashtag.
Hell yeah. Ray Ricks, £5. Also, weren't mind melds a no-no at this point in Vulcan history? Among some Vulcans, yes. That point doesn't bother me in the slightest.
Oh, Chuck, did they really? That's impressive. Have to watch that. Huh. Well, there's not much to direct. It's just 4 people in 4 rooms. Let's be honest. It's not really... I wouldn't say it was directed well. It was just directed. There wasn't really...
William Baker, snails would complain about the pace. Such a shame after the possibilities of episode 1.
And 2. But we said, you'll probably spend 3 episodes in the Confederation, then maybe 4 in the past, and then back at the...
Hey, let's use this 2024 as much as we can.
Because every minute saves budget, yeah.
Let's just go outside with our cameras.
Squadricore says, at this point, I'd rather watch fan films. They have some failings, but they love Star Trek and respect canon. And that's also a problem, because I've been writing a ton of Star Trek in the last 2 years. And some people probably argue my shorts are better. Certainly more exciting, with more lore and knowledge, in front of camera, not so much like the Easter egg stuff, where they do good with. But a poster in the deep background, I'm not going to give them that much credit for that they put in. It's like, but it's not part of the... Yeah. It's like all the stuff I said to you earlier. All of the stuff that Bell writes is meaningless because it hasn't factored in the story at all. Yes, there was a poster, and everyone's like, oh my God, the season's going to deal with that. And it's just going, no, completely gone. Nothing to do with it. It was a pure fan candy to make people think, yes, something. I saw a great tweet saying, all of the fan theories are better than what's happened.
Yeah.
Because nothing's happened.
It's usually the case, though.
Yeah, but this one especially much so.
Kit 10K throws in $10 into PayPal, so thank you.
Beautiful.
Says, Stuart, I saw your post on Facebook about when Trekyards was featured on Interspace for the first time. Twice. I watched it, and I knew your Star Trek memorabilia was extensive, but damn. And I'm sure it's grown since then. You said in the video that you could probably buy a house or 2 with what you spent on... Well, I don't. That was just exaggerating.
For TV, literally for TV.
Yeah. Well, I could probably have bought 3 or 4 with what I've spent on my RC ships. My near 6-foot RMS Titanic is now easily worth over $4,000. Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Wow.
Sideshow. Oh, go ahead.
Well, Sander says, yes, my shorts are better. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And I've hopefully a short come out next week.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sideshow Kaz stuff puts in £4.50 and says, it did show how Elnor could have been a much better character if written well, but they killed him.
Yeah, I prefer him as Starfleet, although I did like all his dialogue. I thought he was very sweet in the role.
Yep.
But I would Starfleet Elnor over Assassin Elnor, because that's not a useful character in most situations.
Yes. IMEC throws in $10, so again, thank you so much. Would those Vulcans have been to Paul's relatives that got stuck on Earth for a while? Might be too much to expect. I would say no, considering they got beamed out. They were
With a
probably
ship.
there. Yeah, they were probably there, like, removing all evidence of the Carbon Creek Vulcans, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, because Carbon Creek only happened about 10 years earlier. So they haven't had kids that are old enough to be Vulcans yet. So it is a non-link, honestly, that was tenuous at best. There's no... If they brought the original actor back and had him there for the cameo, I was like, oh, wow. But no, just... Yeah.
78 likes, 143 people here. Let's get to 100 likes, guys. Easy to do. 22 more likes. And like I said, I want 2 new members during this live if possible, so click that join button.
But I'll reset my poll, though. Did you enjoy this episode? For the first time, no wins at 41%.
Wow.
Meh, 34%. And yes, 25%. That is the first time we've had a completely no result. Ooh.
Damn, son. That's rough. Oh, I'm sure he's going to be doing another poll right now, but in the meantime, click that join button and see if you guys want to join. I want to get 2 new members if possible during this live. And yeah, like I said, at least 100 likes. Maybe let's try for 120. We're only 10 away now from 100. So, and then we'll get into the meat of the episode, such as what there is anyway.
Yeah, read the poll, Stuart, and then we'll start.
About this season, are you angry or just disappointed? Put on your parents' face and pretend. Like Samuel said the other day, anger lasts a short time. It's very intense. But it goes away and it's soon forgotten. Disappointment lingers and stays with you for a long time. Maybe never goes away.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Disappointing Enterprise season finale.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it. We're just disappointed at everything about it. The fact we didn't get another season as well. Yeah. So we start off with flashback. A good start showing we're going to get epic Vulcan stuff. Potential shown, because they're not just going to only have the clips that we've used in the trailer, right? There'll be more material later in the episode. We must be happen because this is almost the exact scene from the trailer. Moving on. Great start.
Some dialogue would have been great.
And for some reason, bloody handcuffs, which implies something that doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah, a lot of people speculate it was from Picard's IV thing. I think that it was just it's such a weird visual to have there.
I didn't get that at all.
I didn't either. But anyway, shit. And I love the look on. This is why I had Samuel use this first frame for the thumbnail for my live last night, because that's exactly how him and I both looked watching this episode.
Did people comment on that on the live?
I actually said, what do you guys think of the thumbnail? And they're like, the thumbnail is absolutely perfect. Yeah.
Now, in fairness, this guy is well cast as this role.
Yeah.
Although it could have been anybody play it. Absolutely anybody. Like, there's no... You know, he does good with the material, but it should have been anybody else in LA. There's a few actors in LA. Because every time I see him, I'm like, oh, Duquesne would have been 1,000 times better.
Yeah, the thing is, he's a fantastic actor, and he does do a very good FBI generic, like, agent, per se.
And a low-tier agent as well. He doesn't seem overly competent. Yeah. Like, I like that balance of he's just really just like a... He's okay.
I would watch a show with him as the lead, as like some kind of FBI guy. That'd be awesome, actually. New X-Files. But it was such a shame to see such a good actor do such a good job with the role and really flesh out like this character, or at least have him be somebody that I enjoy watching and listening to. And yet that disappointment, that lingering disappointment of it not being Duquesne and not getting that reveal is sad. So yes, I do like the guy though. He does a fantastic job.
And Miracles, I love this season so far. Hey, tell us why. Matt Deckard, I'm in LA, I act.
Like an asshole.
Oh.
I know, Matt.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But like I say, disappointment at the casting, at who he could have been.
Yeah.
Second time it's easy to stomach, but the scenes also, they're not going anywhere, so he's just...
Yeah.
It's like they needed Patrick to be in a different room for a bit, so they just said, right, we'll have a quick twist here that means nothing in the grand scheme. You know what I mean? There's no link to anything. I assumed it'd be the police are here and they get assimilated and they comes out and... No. What does this mean? They don't gain anything here. The only thing is that Guinan's in the right place to see Q, but Q was going to see her either way. Q was always going to find her wherever she is. Her being here makes no difference. So what is the point of this non-subplot? I guess he's going to help at the end, maybe, but he's now fired, so he hasn't got any clearance.
If he's not Duquesne, they need to go to see Talon to use her transporter. If this guy helps them some way, it'd be cool if him and Talon eventually start working together, and we get a spin-off show of Assignment Earth.
Talon and not Duquesne, right? Talon and Wells.
I don't know. I like how Guinan called out that he's, he's not like top level. This janky old room, the camera's not even hooked up. It was good. Again, Guinan really shone through in this episode. The actress did a good job. Just the first time was disappointing.
Yeah, and again, when you watch it the first time, waiting for this cool reveal, hope, build. Second time, you're like, okay, I appreciate the Guinan's on point, although she kind of leaves for most of the episode. So, like, if any individual storyline was given the A-plot depth, it would have been good, legitimately. Make this Duquesne, make him have a Vulcan proper subplot, make there be a Vulcan who's the one, make Silver Silverman his cohort, and she knows, like, have any of the plots be bigger. And it would have been better, but they're all so like last week, it was all about the Picard stuff, and they had some depth to it because they could explore for most of the episode. But none of the stuff has depth. It's very strange, but you don't know that going in, so you're just kind of left thinking, okay, why are these scenes? But yeah,
And Kit 10K throws in another $10 into PayPal.
Boom.
And says, "Damn it, parents have bad timing. I've got to help my dad with some stuff, so I can't watch the whole live. If I finish in time, I'll catch the end. I will. If not, I'll hopefully see you on the next live." Thank you very much, Kit, for stopping by. I appreciate it. All right. So then, we get a shot of LA. Finally, somebody cleaning up this class. I wish that would have been in the background of the last episode, but hey. And then them updating Rios about the Border Queen. He's like, "I'll come right away." They're like, "No, you need to find a way to make sure she hasn't done anything else to the ship, and also find a way to kind of cage her when we find her."
Well, Squadron Course is a great comment. The FBI guy should have been David Duchovny.
Yes, absolutely.
And not mention his name, just like, wait.
Yep. Agent X, they call him, because he didn't give them his name. Yeah. Listen, Agent X. That'd be funny. I see we're here sitting in this room surrounded by files, and that camera's not hooked up.
George Mangrum picking up the vibes of Gulf. It's not Laris, not Duquesne Star, and not Assignment Earth. Very, very good. Very, very good.
You just call this show A Theory of Relativity.
Or a relative assignment to Earth. Relatively Earth. There you go.
Relatively Earth. What the hell? All right. Good stuff. We've already just created another show.
We have. Okay, so some of the Seven stuff is genuinely good, but it's not developed enough. But there's a lack of pace here. Raffi seems somewhat... She's a commander in Starfleet. She seems out of her depth here. And also, they keep recycling. Like they sort of tell us again she can't assimilate. Tell us again that she's dangerous. It's like we know all this stuff. They're not zooming through the plot. They also have a tricorder that can scan. Do you know that Girardi's just literally like half a mile away? Yeah. Why aren't you scanning for anything? Did they?
They did. Yes.
Okay.
It is abnormal life signs, but they're too far away or diminished to pinpoint. So she's anywhere in a 15-block radius. That's not good enough. That's right. The line of dialogue.
And you're telling me that you can't improve on that, right? Okay.
Just do a tricorder search for epic cleavage.
Or boots. Special boots.
Well, they didn't know that yet. Snoopy McQueen, $5. The problem with Picard and Disco is that they are trying to take a story that could have been done in 6 episodes instead of 10. Yes, absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Did you know, actually, the singer of the band that was in the bar in the last episode, the lead singer is Patrick Stewart's wife?
Mm-hmm. Sunny, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that till last night, so that's cool.
Good for her.
Yeah. The guy wore small boots, women's size 8. He was a big dude, man. I doubt that very much. IMEC throws in $10.
Oh, beautiful.
Awesome. Thank you. Raffi just doesn't sit well with me and how she handles everything.
Yep.
Elnor's death, breaking up with Seven. She was a distinguished Starfleet officer that worked with Admiral Picard. Just don't see it. Yeah, she's, as they point on this one, a manipulative bitch, essentially. Pack your bags. We're going on a guilt trip whenever Raffi's around. She'll guilt you into anything. Yeah.
Now, in fairness, hey, that makes sense. She's a bad Starfleet officer.
Mm-hmm.
End of my sentence. Back to Not Duquesne. As we get the trailer scene, and it's like, yes, you were here. And it's like, hey, good sleuthing.
Before we do that, there's the one thing I want to just talk about this last scene, where she says, well, it's time to Borg up. And Seven's like, why? I'm not Borg. And she gets all defensive. Mm-hmm. And, well, you know, without the cranial implant, I can't locate her or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then Raffi's like, you are 7, right? Yeah, and what does that mean to you? Mm-hmm. It's like, I kind of loved that. Like, she got some actual 7-like dialogue, which, good job.
Although as I said at the start, there's some good 7 stuff. There's a slight disconnect there between sometimes she actively talks about her Borginess and uses it, sometimes she hates on it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She's both at the same time, which I guess you can be, but she was kind of come to terms with it in Voyager. I guess people hated her when she got back, but you'd also think that the Voyager cred would get a lot of credibility. I don't know. It's just, I think it's more the fact that Raffi's going at her in a certain way rather than the thing itself. But it's hard to see without subtext. But it's, you know, again, they're not forcing a relationship angle down our throats. It's more like they were close, but, and we'll get to a better scene later. But it's like, yeah, she didn't really know. They don't really know each other, really. Otherwise, you would know not to say this stuff. Mm-hmm. But also, Raffi's not helping at all.
Did you watch the latest episode of The Ready Room?
No. Wasn't interested in this time. For whatever reason,
well,
I was like, eh.
It was pretty good because Will Wheaton asked Jerry Ryan about the relationship with her and Raffi, whether that was originally planned. It wasn't.
Well, no, it wasn't.
It all came about because somebody took a picture of her and Raffi at one of the events, and they're like, and somebody made the comment of, "Oh, it's just the perfect lesbian couple." That one line that somebody commented is what created this relationship. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it was like it wasn't in the script from the old hands at the end. They just did it on set in order to try it, and they kept it in.
Yeah.
If they hadn't done that, it would be no thing. It's like the Yaz and Doctor love storyline wasn't intended until the fans start saying, "Oh, I totally see something," and they're like, "Oh, really? Oh, I guess we'll do that now." And it's like, but we only have one more season left. Let's shoehorn it with 0, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Yes.
But then we get this whole where he says, I've got a lady friend with the city who shoots me an email anytime something odd pops up on the CCTV, like somebody shimmering into existence. Now, who is that? I want to hear that story. Excuse me, lights.
Oh, sorry.
Dramatic.
Sorry. Who is that? I want to hear that story more importantly. Is it Laris? Or is it Talon? I don't know. But obviously
that would be interesting though. We didn't consider that.
Obviously, he doesn't get many leads because in this one he says, you know, like at the end, "Boy, you cried alien" one too many times, and it wasn't true. Yep. So I don't know, man. That sounds like a more interesting story than what we see here, anyway.
I couldn't help thinking it needs to be Sarah Silverman, and there needs to be a great reference, and it's a GNDN.
Yeah. Exactly. Then he asks about the gala, why you're crashing the space mission. Why would extraterrestrials want to do that?
No, he says a gala. I'm like, who calls it a gala? It's a terrible name. It's a gala.
Yes. That's one I do agree with you on.
Thanks. You prick. I watched that other lot. I saw the shit you said about me. I saw that.
About tomatoes? Anyway.
Vote the poll, guys.
But I love how Guinan confronts him here, like, what makes you the man for this job? You come with your rumpled suit and your cup of coffee.
Oh yeah, fantastic, yeah.
Yeah.
She reads him, and that's why he gets out of the room, because she's too good.
Yeah. And I love, too, at the end where she's like, now my species, and he realizes, holy shit, one of them was an alien. And he kind of gives her the look. It's like,
yeah.
Didn't even think about it. But yeah, that was great.
I do like his sleuthing, legitimately. He picks up on the IV, links it all together. Like, he's a good cop. It's just it's not going off time and, like, snappy dialogue, and it kind of fizzles out. It was building to something. They kind of...
I wonder if that line from Patrick Stewart of, I was dehydrated. After all, I'm only human. I wonder if that was scripted or if that was kind of an improv thing, because after all, I'm only human it's perfect for the situation, right? So
yeah, he said it very effortlessly. Because these are the best scenes until you realize there are little moments of better scenes. Now, speaking of scenes that happen, for some... Okay, am I right here that Corey, who is the genetic creation of Sung, she says, I must find out what happened. She goes to a custom VR headset and tells her home's Alexa interface to turn...
Aspectus. It's called Aspectus.
Thank you. To turn video footage of the records of Sung into a 3D recreation that she can then look around and then work out any information. And I'm like, what is going on here? This isn't Blade Runner. This is not tech that exists in 2024. You can't 3D model based on pictures like this. How is it... You haven't set a time that this picture exists from. So therefore, why would you possibly think the files are going to be where they're in? What is this scene?
She was looking at her iPad or whatever it was, and then she set it down. She picked up the headset, and then she said, extrapolate 2D video into...
What is she trying to say?
So it could be that it's linked to the pad somehow, but yes, that technology does not exist.
What's she trying to find? I don't get it. Like, if Q didn't hand her everything on a silver platter, she'd be like... She can't interact with anything. Like, she can't do anything, and then there's
Melissa Jericho is correct. It is AR, augmented reality, not VR.
But yes. Well, no, it's a full headset. I mean,
yeah, but you can also see her eyes through it, which means it's augmented reality. She can see the environment, and then the augmented reality adds everything else into that.
So it's not creating a 3D model then. 3D model implies
it's just adding to the 3D environment.
But there's nothing digital except Q. Everything else is really there. Because he picks up a vial, so it's obviously projecting into her imagery. A vial's not being picked up and floating.
Well, augmented reality, you can do it on your phone. You can add something like a Pokemon to the desk over there, and you move and the Pokemon stays where it is. So she's looking at the room, and the augmented reality is adding the vials or whatever, because when he picks up the vial, it flashes blue. When he sets it down, it flashes blue. He's in the augmented reality space. He's not. That's how augmented reality works, my friend.
Well, this crap version does. It doesn't work. This doesn't work because it should all be AR looking. Although I did appreciate though that he's just recreating Star Trek Borg in these sequences, just talking to the camera. Yeah, I mean it's like we just. But it feels like such a we have to get from A to B plot. Let's shove him in, and she already knew this. Sure. I don't get what she learned extra. She knew she was 1 of 15, and they're all being created. Like she had all the files. They weren't locked. It's not well told.
Silent Spaces throws in £5.
Thank you.
Troy, Worf, 7, Chakotay, and now 7 and Raffi as out of nowhere Star Trek romances with no backstory. At least Dax and Worf had some good moments. Yes.
Christian, we did talk about them.
Talk about what?
The drones. It says I promise this, but not the drones.
Oh, yes, we did talk about those. Laughable Larry, $10. Very disappointed in this season. Tired of continually getting my hopes up and waiting for new Trek to get good. I'm not a hater by any means, just tired. Really giving it my best to enjoy this stuff. Yeah, I think that sentiment echoes with a lot of people here. So
Oh yeah, that's a great point, Darth Eddie. I like how Sung still uses a CRT monitor in 2022 or 2024. So this way, the bulky CRT computer screens in Bell Riots make sense and aren't out of place. Because it's a bit weird to have Bell Riot monitors and also AR headsets with hologram drones. It's not
Yeah.
quite. But that was obviously Bell Riots in the Prime timeline, not in the Picard the Confederation timeline, so they're different anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, Hugh goes on to just show her that she was created artificially from a human genome, blah, blah, blah.
And then as soon as she triggers the AI, somebody waits for that and posts a box into the airlock. Was an Uber man waiting outside for her to trigger it? This is an artificial intelligence inside a computer. How is it triggering a present being hand-delivered?
It was just fortuitous timing.
And it's a vial that will cure her, I guess. Back to the alley.
Very well. It was very, very Alice in Wonderland. The little vial with the tag on it, like "drink me or eat me," but it says freedom. So, yeah. But yes, back to the alley. I love this. They find the dead body, and it's like, oh my god, poor Girardi. Well, Girardi could still be in there somewhere. Yeah, because she's already murdered some people. Just so you know, maybe it was Girardi.
Yeah. And also, no one mentions the ripples in time, because this guy died that was never meant to die. Not that it matters, it's not our timeline, but, you know, no one even bothers to mention.
Yeah.
Now, this is the best scene of them in the episode, because it's a really intelligent, which is a rare word in this episode, look at, because Seven goes into the mind of the Borg Queen figuratively and expresses what she was trying to do, and very quickly it's obvious that it's a direct parallel to what she has lived at since she came back from Voyager, where any single person and the chemistry of a single person is not enough of a connection as compared to a Borg hive mind, that it will only ever be not enough, and she'll get you get angry, you push them away, and Raffi's like, well, damn, that's spot on, and then Seven doesn't realise she's double meaning it. So she's like, shut up, Raffi, just because I can think like the Borg Queen, and she's like, no, I meant that's like you, and she doesn't. But it's a great mismatch, and it's like, damn, that's so sad. And actually quite works. So she was absolutely fine in Voyager, but she had a collective of 160 people. So it is different. Whereas when she's on her own, the void is so big. So actually I thought that was the most intelligent thing they wrote this episode.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, yeah, she basically says, you manipulate, and really kind of hurts Raffi for a second.
Yeah.
Everyone has to be exactly where Raffi wants them. You think we don't see it, but we all do.
And actually, double down for a second, it makes more sense, because also, surely this would apply to Picard as well. She says, once you feel the collective, you can never not, you'll always long for it slightly. And so he's not been able to form long-term relationships since Best of Both Worlds, because he can't connect, it's not enough. Now, obviously, that's a massive, massive retcon, but maybe that would connect as well. I wish they'd explored that more, because that's another reason.
Matt Deckard says he's parked in that parking lot many times. It's literally crew parking for anything shot downtown. Holy shit.
Huh.
Nice. Wonder if your car's in the background there, Matt.
Wow.
Oh, and then what's in cell phone batteries? Oh, I don't know. Let me see. What are you scanning? The battery's gone. But I guess you could see that the interface uses lithium ion. I don't know.
Well, it'd be residual.
Yeah, sure.
I just found it funny that Seven's like, let's go look at that phone. I know how to call it a cell phone. And then Raph's like, what's in the battery? So do you either know about this tech or you don't know about this tech? There's a disconnect.
And why does a modern day cell phone have wires hanging out of it? The battery doesn't connect with wires in modern phones.
Well, it's a 2024 Confederation timeline phone. They didn't even have cell phones in the Bell Riots, so...
True.
It doesn't work.
Facts.
Now,
but
luckily...
anyway, the whole thing of... Oh.
No, you do. I was going to interrupt it.
Whole thing was stabilizing metals to handle nanoprobes, and then she kind of goes a flashback to when she was 6. She can smell them, she can taste it, kind of that assimilation thing, which is interesting.
Although considering we've seen literally assimilations where they go and it's a 1 second, how much metal can they throw? Because you always assume like one nanoprobe could replicate and that's it. So if also sending metal in, there would not be much metal in the tubule time. It's just a small note, but I don't really get the sense that's, it's a retcon, but you know, how many particles could you possibly send in 1 second of tubules with nanoprobes?
Yeah, you just at the same time have the stabilizing metal go in with the nanotubes. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I just think there's specific ones where it doesn't take very long because the simulation, like it can take like 10 minutes. The fact that it's taking Girardi so long is non-logical anyway. Because we've seen literally people in the same episode go from fine to assimilated to somehow cybernetic. Like their arm has now changed in one day. Yeah.
And Matt Deckard, I thought the same thing. And now she's 7, no longer 6. Yeah. I was 6. And now you're 7. That's good.
Oh.
But then we find Girardi chewing on batteries, apparently.
And how far was she away, Stuart? How did they find her?
She was around the corner.
She made a noise, but you couldn't hear the first 5 batteries. But you could hear the 6th or 4th. And so their search parameters was luck. That decided not to go anywhere. This was lazy as fuck. Oh my god. I mean, talk about... 709 is a great officer, and this is just... Yeah.
And she runs across the cars and almost... Well, she whips 7 of 9 into a dumpster and then almost strokes out Raffi. But then you see Girardi take over. The eyes go from black to Girardi's, and she says no and drops her, and then walks away with the shit kickers on. Don't get me wrong, it's a good visual with the boots, but it's just a small thing. It really annoys me. Sorry. Car batteries use lead acid gel. I know they don't use lithium ion. I know. It would have been better if she was chewing on a Tesla, honestly.
Elon,
yeah, I thought the same thing.
Elon,
car
can
batteries don't do that.
Can we get 4 cars, please, Elon? Or 4 cars, I should say.
Yeah. Let's see. Take a quick review of things. We got 165 people here, 120 likes. We hit that 120. Awesome. Let's go for 150 now. Keep the super chats coming. Still don't have a new member to join the channel, so click that join button. At least take a look while you're listening to us talk. We'd appreciate it. The whole slow motion walk away was a bit cheesy to me, says Matt. I mean, yeah.
It's not worse than anything else in the episode, though.
No. Like I said, it's probably one of the better visuals.
It's just But then you cut back to the interrogation, where he's in very much more... It's escalation mode, and that cop... What a memory. He went... Like, literally, he went from being pissed at the guy to, I guess, loading them up onto the bus, writing down what the guy said while on the bus, getting EMP'd on the bus...
Yep.
And then his records getting found the next day, and then put into the you know what I mean, and then put into the
word for word. I might add, it's like he had the script or something. Yeah, you wouldn't remember something that somebody said like that word for word. You'd have a generality of it, but yeah.
Except you would think law enforcement are competent officers and they are trained to have with certain skills. So I would be okay.
He might have had a body cam on him.
That's true. Yeah.
The whole thing.
But then that would have been more impressive to show though. Because that would have been even cooler. I mean, wouldn't be able to say it, but just having literally footage of Rios, confirming everything.
I think the whole a crusty old admiral is going to come back to bite Rios in the ass. He's going to give an order to Rios in the last episode or something and go, assuming you take orders from crusty old admirals. Because the look on his face when he read that was hilarious.
Yeah, that's why. That's why it's there. Although it's sad because he did just say last week he's like a father to me. So kind of like, oh, you didn't hear the good bit, Picard. You didn't hear the bad bit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised Picard kept reading because it's like he's telling the plot. You'd think he would not read it, but no.
And thank God they didn't forget about Rios' comm badge from the clinic. Good job. Bring that back. And that's the minute that kind of clinched it for me that it's not Duquesne, because he's like, how long do you think before my guys figure out this technology is not from Earth? It's like,
I knew instantly from his first scene he wasn't, just the way he played it. He wasn't going to go down that route. But back to Serena, and...
Well, they split up Guinan and Picard first. So,
but yeah, Rios is just trying to make sure the Borg have not infected the computer. And they make cake with no specific direction. So this is the bog standard cake. 4 cakes.
The four most popular cakes that are ordered on that replicator, I would assume.
It's just the computer is such a specific creature Which Enterprise do you want? Be specific. 4 cakes,
Yeah.
and they're not. There's 4 slices of 4 different coloured cakes. That is not how the computer would run. The computer asks you what soup do you want, what flavour of chicken soup variant do you want. This is not what it would do. It would be annoying, and the kid would have to clarify.
That's a Confederation replicator.
Very true. Fair. Wow, get out of jail free card. But, you know, good effect. Yay for the kid. I made a cake joke in a Trek shorts. It's kind of cute to see the cake gag come back, I'll be honest.
Yeah. Well, then they get the conversation between these two, and tell me your deepest truth. I love her situation. We've been married for 10 years, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And then his first thing he says is, when I fell for you, which shows that he did fall for her. Because he's telling, you would assume he's not role-playing at that point. He's telling the truth. And then she, of course, takes that as, you love me, and she ran back and gave him a kiss. Very well-written dialogue, very good scene, very good interaction, perfectly done. Just don't know if it fits in Star Trek.
If it was the A plot, it'd be great. It will be,
because he's going to stay around. He's going to stay with her, I think.
Stuart, we convinced you.
We're getting there. Yeah, this one kind of almost made it feel, because I think he's going to say, I knew that when I fell for you, that I was going to be not going back to the future, or something like that. That's what he's going to say.
Yeah, no, I mean either way, but it's it's a lovely scene, well played, well acted. I like the swap between different languages. That's cute because of that common knowledge. The kid is not overly annoying. It's there just enough, etc. Love the kiss thing. The only thing is, this could be any man in any TV show. This isn't Rios. Like, there's nothing specifically here. He doesn't feel like a Starfleet officer, a Starfleet captain, an ex-Starfleet captain, a rogue. Like, there's zero Rios specific except the charm of the actor. And it's like, does he not value his lifelong career in Starfleet? No, okay.
Well, he left it for a while, too, so... Oh, sure. By the way.
Oh, yes.
Going back to the Ready Room, you have to watch it, because the first part's all about props.
Oh, I saw that bit. I always check for what their clips are, yeah. I was right about the tricorder.
Kirk's phaser.
Uh-huh. But I was right about the silver version of the Confederation tricorder. The Federation tricorder. And it does go... But they just didn't use it, because they forgot to turn the light on. Because they're idiots. Yeah. Those that are Akiva Goldsman people.
But back to Interrogation Room. And the guy's like, I'm not an idiot. I know you're like eons more advanced than me. But listen to me. Your alien tech, the paperwork's been filed. They're going to come for you. They're going to cut you up. You're just nothing but a pig in a jar to them. So I'm your best bet. Talk to me. And I love how he plays that, and you find out later that, he didn't pass it on because he didn't want anybody else taking the credit away from him. He wanted to be the one to find aliens. Good scene.
Again, if it was the A plot with something bigger, it's rather engaging. But once you know it goes nowhere, it's not as engaging. And even if it... you have seen some of Doctor Who, David Tennant's Doctor Who, haven't you?
Yeah. Not David Tennant, not really, no.
Oh, okay. Well, there's
I like David Tennant.
Oh, yeah, you're one of, like, the 4 people in the world that don't.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Tennant for some reason. Oh, not for some... I mean, I know why, but it's like, other doctors. Anyway, so there's a specific episode, there's a specific character who's locked behind a memory wall, and things sort of trigger him to exist again. And so it would have been kind of fun if Duquesne, as he gets further in the interrogation, Picard starts saying things that trigger his memories, and then he, like, is Duquesne by the end. Just, he couldn't, he couldn't temper prime directive living in the past and still have his memories. Like, that's almost like, that's where you have to build up to, where that's why he's got fascination, he's a repressed personality, and then you've got a payoff, you've got an A-line payoff, and then it says, Picard, come with me, we have to go to my office 30 years ago, and it's got a relatively phaser, and, really could link in well.
Or he was back investigating something, and a Vulcan did mind meld him, but didn't erase his memory, altered his memory to make him think that he was a kid when it happened, and
it was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm holding out hope for. Something like that, because you can mess with people's minds with a mind meld. So, it would relieve everybody's. That Vulcans didn't mind meld back then. Well, they did, just not all of them.
Yeah, the ones that have less morals.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also it is in essence rape. It's mind rape, non-consensual mind act. So that Vulcan mind raped a kid, but to alleviate his presence in the world. Ugh.
And Laura says, I agree. When she said she's my sister, I expected the guy to be like, well, then you're what's your name? I need somebody to pay for this window. Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
That would be way more realistic.
I left my credits I left my Quatloos in my other pants, and it's like.
I thought I was screwed because she took off, but no, you're her sister. Okay, I want your information.
Well, thank God insurance in this zone is really good.
MKW puts in £4.50.
Oh, thank you.
Had to turn off halfway through. Absolutely appalling. The show's an embarrassment to Trek. Credit to you two for still finding energy to review this abomination.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate your support of us. We certainly try.
Yeah. But then we get the Q. I knew it was Q as soon as he saw the silhouette, and she kind of had that look on her face. But how did Q find her without his powers? How did he convince everybody that he was an FBI agent? You need some kind of identification, some kind of something. But hey, he's got no powers, but hey, it's fine. Throw on an FBI jacket, you're fine.
Well, it's great. He's a private man who also has hacking abilities. He can design code that goes into a computer. He can design life-saving drugs.
Yeah, and synthesis and can manufacture them.
Oh yeah. Yep. And he can also actively go to work and pretend to be a psychologist with NASA, who would do massive background checks.
When he lost his powers before, he did say he still had an IQ of 6,000. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying it's a long list of things he's doing successfully.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is probably the best scene in the episode because it's the most actual Star Trek meet. Although Guinan kind of plays the massive second fiddle here. I mean, it makes sense, but you would think she's still plenty old here as an Elorian. And I was really hoping she'd get some sort of mental flash forwards to him because he's from a different timeline, from the future, and lost his powers. There should be something here.
Yeah.
Now, that said, the thing that confused me most is that she says, "Why did you make Picard go back in time?" I didn't make him do that. And it's like, well, you did. You said you can go and change it if you want to or not. And he's clearly going to do it, Picard. I don't know what the point he's trying to make is.
Well, it's just that he didn't snap him back in time. He snapped him to an alternate reality. Picard was the one that chose to go back in time.
But that was the only choice. It's like, take this gun or bread to feed your family. Well, there's no choice. Don't want anyone gun there, but giving someone not a choice is not a choice.
I just love what he called her. Multi-celled sanctimonious droning shrew. What this guy name?
Yeah.
Well, we get dialogue here that he's dying, and he was excited about that because
which she can sense, which is another power she has.
Being immortal is boring, so he was looking for something exciting, and it's nothing. He's just kind of fizzling out, and it's disappointing to him.
Well, life gains meaning by its lack of, and the fact that it's something brand new. Wow, we can die. I like the fact she even says, I know you can kill each other, which is true. I didn't know you could die. Well, I was kind of waiting for him to say, yes, I'm being poisoned by another Q or something. Because how does a Q die? We don't know. Obviously, we'll find out. But the fact is, we already sort of guessed this from right at the start. Mm-hmm. And they didn't even elaborate as to, well, what's happening to the Q continuum? Because why would he be summoned specifically by the Q? How would the bottle know they want this Q? So we assume the continuum's at fault. But if the continuum's fine, why is...
I think the whole continuum might be dying, and he's just not aware of it, perhaps. Anyway, yeah.
It feels like they brought in Delancey for a quick afternoon because I realised they hadn't quite gone off Delancey in the story. And it doesn't quite have the weight it should do. I think it's in a boring room.
I'm trying to vaporize you right now.
I don't know.
It's also sad that Picard's literally down the hall in another door, and he doesn't have any FaceTime with Picard. Like, these two have a connection. They need to talk to each other.
Well, because the entire point is he did put him in a situation. Picard is the savior. That's why he's in the situation.
Yeah. And well, yeah, he goes also to explain that the trap is immaterial. It's not important. It's the escape that counts.
Yes. Now, is that the trap of Picard? Is that the trap of this future? Is that the trap of time? Is that the trap of Q dying? Is that the trap of... I could easily see a Q being choosing not to die if they could choose. But like, are we going to commit to Delancey now dying by the end of the show? Is that interesting? I don't know. Is the point? It's just, it doesn't connect, and it might connect by the end, but none of the pieces have got to the place that it needs to be yet.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, the last thing he says is humans always trapped in the past, which again is another hint for me that maybe Duquesne is in fact trapped in the past, because Guinan in a second says to Picard, trapped in the past. And yes, it's to talk about his memories, but at the same time, literally, he could be Duquesne, a temporal agent trapped in the past, and he doesn't know he's Duquesne. I'm holding out hope for that so much.
So you think it'll more be a double twist, like, let's let down the fans first.
Yep.
Because these people don't know Duquesne, and if he doesn't know his memories, whereas when Seven sees him, she'll be like... So that's you're thinking that's more the reveal, that he'll be in it again, and Seven will be the connector.
Possibly, yes.
But that also detracts the... Well, I guess, okay, it detracts from the Vulcan thing meaning anything, but if it doesn't mean anything, it's just a fake backstory he gave himself, then that also would work, while they spent almost no time on it.
Chris Willem says, first time I've ever removed my like. Sorry. Why'd you remove your like? What happened? Did we say something that offended you?
Oh. Let us know.
Yeah, please let us know, Chris. What's going on?
There's a lot to debate here.
Speaking of likes, we need another 8 to get to 150, so please get that like button.
Yes, indeed. And how's the poll doing, Stuart?
The poll is doing fine. We have 160 votes. You want to call it there and start a new one? Or?
Sure.
All right, so let's see. What about this season? Are you? The winner is just disappointed at 77%. That's a strong number. And angry is at 22%. So.
Because I'm not angry. That's the whole point. So, okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Turd.
And Dave, Dave says, Seven wouldn't remember Duquesne. She and Joey had the memories removed when she left Relativity. No, watch the episode. They actively don't lose their memories because Duquesne says, you don't remember a thing that would affect their future. It's fine, you keep them. So they do.
Plus, she had him wiped so many times that it was dangerous at that point.
I don't know about that, but yes.
Like I said, each time you do it, it could cause more damage.
Well, that's the time jump stuff. I don't know if they said about the memory of white race.
Ray Ricks, though, throws in £5. After rewatching episode 7 before this, my out there theory, not Laris, which would be Talon, is the Borg Queen we see in episode 1. Someone who has seen Picard's memories. Sure, that'd be cool too. Me likey. Yeah, so still wondering why Chris Willem removed his like. Anyway, new poll is up. Who was the best performance this week? Q, 7 of 9, Picard, or not Duquesne? Agent Wells.
It made sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting scene. Just amazing that Q was wandering out of the story and this scene. But back to a scene that's...
Boringness. I do. There's one thing I like from this, and that's just the line of, if I walk out that door, you're going to be more upset that you lost your daughter or your legacy. Because what am I to you? Found that really cool. And that's what all this whole scene is the summation of.
The thing is, though, right? If someone said to me, Stuart,
yes,
if I lose you, am I more sad of losing my friendship or my business partner and creative partner? It's like both can be true. Like he's sad to lose his daughter and his creation. It's a no-sum game. They are completely intertwined. It's nothing. Obviously, he loves her. He wouldn't put that much time into her. He just loves her with a science addition. So I thought it's a very.
But her just realizing that she's been lied to her whole life. She's assuming that he only cares about his work. So she's emotional right now. So that's why she says what she does. So
I know it's every rom-com where they miscommunicate. It's like if they just talk,
yes.
Then that's absolutely fine. It's just all of the things that he's done throughout her life that she will remember, which show love. Every time he tells her a bedtime story, he doesn't have to do that for an experiment. He just actually loves her. So it's drama, quote unquote. It's not necessarily necessary. But I mean, she gives a good performance. There isn't a ton of depth to this character, but she sells it very well. If that makes sense. Like, this is a very like bog standard. You understand the role, does good, but it's like, but like deep. But does it have to be deep? No, not really. So, yeah. And Brent is good, although he's certainly going to shift again into actual villain next week, Borg Queen associate, helping the assault teams, etc. But yes, she walks out, she sees the sun, and she's fine.
Touches the grass.
Which is cute. I give her credit for that. Although she could have felt the grass any other time because it's the rays of the sun that hurt. They've already shown their drones that can allow her to exist outside fine. So she would have already felt grass. I don't think there are UV rays in grass. But
well, no, anything can kill her. Like dust in the air can kill her. So stepping on the grass and stirring up some pollen or whatever.
Yeah, but then she wouldn't. Yeah, but she already was outside in the drones fine. I guess technically she was in the support field.
She was also on
the drug, yeah.
Cool.
When she was just on the drug that he gave her, so she wasn't going to get ill either way. But I suppose I don't know. They haven't quite worked out how ill she is.
And when she did get all spider webby on her face, she did fall onto the grass. So
yeah,
worth pointing that out.
Yes, but yeah, she's gone. Is she gone for the rest of the season? Don't know. And either way, timeline's changed. Because without Q, there was never this situation. So, not cobwebs, spider webs? No, what am I trying to find? The word.
Interwebs?
No, you can't. Butterflies, sorry. Spider webs. There are butterflies because she was never let loose originally in the original timeline. Not this is that timeline, but there you go. But yeah, next scene. We are back to... Oh yes, the alley again. Because they don't actually leave the alley.
Well, one thing to go back to your point about losing your kid and your legacy. Mm-hmm. He does say real. Anyone can appropriate. You're here because I willed it.
Mm-hmm. It's a great line.
The way he says it, anger, that's why she reacted the way she did as well. I just wanted to point that out.
That's because she's betraying him and that she doesn't even appreciate that, he fought all of science to make her be alive, to give her a life for 15 years. I mean, I get his anger.
Yeah.
And he also had a bad day, and he's also lost his job, and he's also, he's having a much worse day than she is.
Now, yeah.
Back to the alley.
Yeah. Let's check his cell phone. What's his search history say? What can he find there? What can she find there? Everything she needs. What? Did she look up Home Depot? No, she looked up Soong apparently. For some reason, I don't know how she would know that.
And obviously, my question.
Borg Queen, she has memories of the timeline.
Yeah, well, yes, that for sure. But my question is, why would the Borg Queen pickpocket for a cell phone? How would she know how to use the internet app? Why would she know what a search engine is? Why would she know what to search? Because Alison wouldn't know.
She probably linked into it. It's like a little nanoprobe tube thing.
But we've kind of established she hasn't got the tech yet to this point, but then she also has EMP tech inside her after 10 minutes, so... Because remember, she could EMP in the last episode, or one before.
I know.
Flawlessly EMP. But she has no tech to search for.
But then we get Raffi admits that, yes, I do manipulate people, and then we get the whole scene of Elnor wanting to go do his own thing, or at least, have some honor, and she's just like, no, man, you do what you do. I thought you wanted to take after me and all this, but you do whatever it's your life. And she walks away.
I thought you loved me, Elnor.
Yeah. Yep. Guilt trip. No wonder she lost her son, for Christ's sakes.
And her command. See, she didn't get fired. She went up to Admiral and say, look, it's not, if you want to fire, if you want to lose Picard, that's fine. I support him 100%. But you wouldn't want to lose me. I'm the best officer you've ever had. And I don't know what she'd say, but Yeah, I actually quite like this scene. I really wish it was in uniform. That'd have elevated it 1,000,000,000% to give it some semblance of Starfleet. Because, again, boring Lesserina set. She's not doing anything specific. She should be back in uniform. She should be not on Lesserina. She should be at Starfleet. Same conversation. With just giving a glimpse of something extra. Because it's just the same scene from every other scene on the Lesserina. Although I like his performance.
Yeah. Kind of makes me realize I kind of miss Elnor sometimes. I kind of like this comic reliefness.
Yeah,
like how he stop deflecting or whatever he said. Yeah, she's like, "Oh, you learn fast."
Yeah, when they tone it down nicely, it can work, but it's so specific. But it's a nice enough scene, and yeah, it makes it seem pretty bad. So, and then moving on,
makes me dislike Raffi more though. At least she got over it pretty quick when she's like, "He's the reason," he's the reason. I'm the reason he stayed and died in my arms. And then it's like, "Ooh, search history," and she's like, "Oop." So we don't dwell on the crying crap. So.
Well, as we know, we set the timeline, everything's fine, so.
The Pegboard Queen shows up at Sims.
Which, as we've both said, fantastic imitation of whatever the Borg Queen actress lady is. Very, very good. It almost sounds like they dubbed her with the other lady, but I don't know. It's so well done, I can't really tell. Is that this scene, or is there...
No, that's coming up.
Yeah, then, yeah. Well, yeah, she appears, yeah, but the... Then you got the weird astral projection,
which focused on his past, kind of thing. Humans are stuck in the past.
I'm assuming because she's younger, she has more energy to do it. But this would have been helpful in other scenes in TNG.
But apparently, they watched Stranger Things, and if you're doing something with telekinetic or with your mind, you have to have a nosebleed.
Any ESP stuff, nosebleed. But then Picard says, "Oh, we'll both tell a truth."
Oh yes.
But you first though, because then I can not tell you afterwards. Ha ha. The classic ruse.
So we get the moment of as a kid, he found the Vulcans and...
And how in-depth is this scene, Stuart?
Not in-depth, really. He's looking for Maggie, whether that's his... Oh, it's a pup. It's a dog.
Yes, it's a dog. At least the Vulcans look great. At least the Vulcans look great. I mean, that's...
They do. What are they doing? Are they doing, like, swap water experiments, or...
You know, those classic Vulcan logical... Yeah, I just think they're doing a survey mission. I mean, clearly they were surveying before, so this is 10 years later, they're surveying again. And then he runs away, falls, mind melds. They beam before he can mind meld, because apparently the pilot in the ship didn't think to wait 30 seconds, despite knowing that the scan showed... Because beaming somebody with physical matter touching another entity is not safe.
Yeah,
like it's not ideal.
Well, somebody on my live last night was like, "Why didn't the kid beam away like every other instance, like Beyond, where you touch Jayla and she gets beamed too?" And my answer, answer was because
that's great.
Vulcans are logical. A logical transporter would deduce that it's not the same DNA, and great. Therefore. But yeah.
No, that should have been the scene. He should have beamed away. We got a full Vulcan set. It turns out the Carbon Creek guy's here. He's in the bridge. It's like, Antral, why did you beam him up? Well, who's going to find out? Then you beamed him up. He found out. That is true. What can we do? Wipe his memory. But we don't do mind melds. Yes, but there's no other solution because our medical tech hasn't worked, I guess. Okay, great. Send him back.
And I like it too here because this ties in with the Picard memory flashbacks of a kid's perception of things.
Mm-hmm.
Picard thought his dad was abusing his mom.
Yep.
This guy thought that the Vulcan was like going into his brain and pushing his hand through his head and trying to kill him. No.
Yeah, he has one version of one memory from first person when he was so young. It's great. It's a very logical. And then Picard is like, in a very good acting, like, no, that was not trying to kill you. It was just a mind meld. And it's, and obviously you can imagine the guy's getting massive PTSD, like, that feeling is exactly what I felt. And then he kind of like awakens in the abstract, like his brain is like, yes, this all makes sense now.
Yeah. At least they didn't push it to the point where Picard's like, well, since I mind melded with both Sarek and Spock, I can now have the ability to kind of mind meld with you and tell you what my plans. It could have been stupid and done that, but they didn't. So thank God. Anyway, yeah, they were trying to erase his memory so he wouldn't be haunted his whole life like he clearly is, and it failed.
Because he beamed away before it finished.
Yeah.
Idiots.
And now for my truth. I'm from the future. I'm human. I'm here to save Earth and the galaxy. Maybe you can help me. And this is the great musical swell. And it's really good. It's a really good moment where the guy realizes, like, oh my God, my whole life's work has come down to this. I can help this guy. And then a hard cut. So they're just quiet on the Serena.
And Trozilla says they could not beam in the 70s. Vulcans didn't have transporter tech in Carbon Creek? Why wouldn't they have had?
That came up in my live last night, too. Transporters didn't get invented until the black guy in Enterprise. And I'm like, no, that's human transporters. Vulcans definitely had transporters prior to that.
Because it was a few years for Vulcan time.
They had transporters, they had tractor beams, they had shields. They didn't share any of that with Earth. Earth was on its own to come up with that stuff on its own. So, yes, they did have transporters. That is a stupid argument. Sorry.
Well, not just that, but Django says, if the Vulcan transporters were good back then, why did Earth take so long to develop one? I mean, you know that Vulcans got to Romulus successfully. Mm-hmm. They had tech like 2,000 years ago that was light year space travelable. So they've had tech a very, very, very long time. The impressive thing is, we got to Warp 5 in like 60 years, and it took them hundreds of years. That's why we're special, because we managed to jump those hurdles really fast. We went from being the small planet to a warp civilization to founding the Federation in the time it took the Vulcans to invent a new type of tea. Like, that's the point. That's why Earth's special.
Yeah. Matt Deckard, that kid lived through the eugenics wars. We all did. They kept it quiet. I don't know why people get so up in arms about that. The eugenics wars was kept very quiet. It was a Middle Eastern thing. There's a lot of wars and upheaval over there all the time that gets covered up by political bullshit, military operations. They happened. You just didn't know it because it didn't come to your shores. Relax. That's the story. Speaking of, 162 people here, 166 likes. Let's try to get to 175 likes. We need at least another $20 in super chats. I know Samuel wants to say $70.
75. Yep, thank you. Yep.
But at least another 20. So if you guys can help us out, please do so. Also, we don't have any new members this live yet. So if you want to hit that join button and take a look at the options, we'd appreciate that as well.
Because this is our big live of the week, and so we at least need to hit our minimum. I was just like, oof, that's not so good. But hey, if you don't like the shows, then... But no, this book... We do, but the Picard speech is good. It just feels like this is an episode 4 speech, because he's saying we'll save the galaxy with only 2 hours left to save it. It falls oddly flat, because he's like, but I've already spent all of the time solving the problem, yet I've not solved it yet. And it should have been in the trailer as well, I think, this sort of speech. But yes, back to La Serena. And now the transporter doesn't work, even though it did work when he beamed aboard earlier. Now, for some reason, the Borg nano...
We put the ship in diagnostic mode to go through things, so I guess that maybe reset things? I don't know.
They don't pay attention to those specifics. It just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. Oh, then we got Guinan and Picard back together again, talking about humans and how they're special. Yes, we're all trapped in our past. We all, she's like, no, that's what's special about you guys. You guys dwell on that and deal with it, and you want to evolve. You want to move past it. Again, great Guinan speech, and
I wouldn't say she delivered it like Guinan, but
no, but the words she was saying were something Guinan would say.
Yeah, Guinan wouldn't have as loud a voice or as emotive an expression. It'd be much more low-key and spiritual rather than like just normal dialogue given by a normal actor. But I do agree, it's a good little speech. And in fact, I do Vulcans learn from the past in the same way? She's saying that. I don't necessarily think that Vulcans do. They don't see the world in that exact way. So actually, I think she's right. That was a good addition to the lore.
I like the how long till the launch. I'm sensitive to time-space continuum. I'm not a clock.
Yeah, and Picard, I mean, he's used to having a computer that can tell him time. They're not as good at like normal time working out. When you reliant on tech, etc.
Mark Phillip throws in $20.
Oh,
here's to hoping for 2 jam-packed episodes. Thank you so much, Mark.
strawberry jam filled to the brim, bursting. And we'll do predictions at the end, but I said it last week though, didn't I?
Yeah. Matt Deckard throws in $5.
Thank you.
Renee isn't the catalyst, it's Wells. Now that he knows he wasn't assaulted by an alien, humans no longer fear aliens.
I don't think it's Renee. I think Renee's wrong. I think there's something. I think she's a
lot of people say that the thing she finds on IO, she's going to mark it as sample Q, and that's going to be the birth of the Q.
Oh yeah, you've said. Yeah, I don't get that. Oh, so you mean like the Q's dying because they changed time and therefore Q can't exist? Which would maybe flow. So she has to. But then Q actively trying to stop her is him committing suicide, but not knowing it. Or maybe he needs someone else to restart the Q. That's dumb though. I mean, once non-temporal life is created, obviously it's created once and then boom, it's everywhere. But that's a very odd situation. Vincent
Visions, $2.
Hey.
Should have had FBI agents from Ant-Man. LOL.
I can't visualize them, but
no. Anyway, he comes in. He got fired. Man who cried alien one too many times and was wrong again. And then he's like, "But the paperwork was filed." He's, "Oh, I lied about that. Yeah, I just wanted to take the credit for this and have you talk to me because I know if I handed it off, you'd just get dragged away to like Area 51 kind of thing." And then this is where Guinan's like, my species, we believe there's an ebb and flow to things. And this is when she says "my species," he's like, and he kind of gives her the whole once over. And she goes on to say that maybe everything happens for a reason, even at great cost. Maybe you were that boy so that you could be this man, so you could let us go today to finish our mission.
And she's just a girl standing from a boy telling him that his life is worth something. Sorry, just the way you said that triggered me.
I know. As soon as I said it, I thought that too. But I'm glad you did that. Yeah.
And I'm that's got to be a setup for later, surely. 100%. Because otherwise she's just commiserated him saying, "Look, you were mind raped as a child so that you could let us out of jail." That's not a commiserate. But if he ends up saving aliens and doing, or even if he comes back, that's very reaching. But imagine if he goes into the future with us, see the future sci-fi lover. But but there's 2 left, But also she's a nice lady that wants to help people. And I do think though that already vibe-wise, I think this is in the dialogue though. She said humans are special and you want to, as you said, learn and improve. The tone in which she's living her now life feels like she's on a 180 from I hate all humans, because she's now been reminded of the goodness. And then she's like, well, actually, I have been here a long time. I've seen all of this good. I just got a bit absorbed in the negative, and I was drunk all the time. And so now she can like re-harness that good to Wells, etc. Like put the good feelings back out into the world. She's now feels like she's committed to being herself again. So I thought that was in the dialogue, and I did like that. I think.
And she said, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I'm actually looking forward to meeting you in the future. Yeah. And then we get the scene of Samuel. Are you aware that our satellites are very slow? They're excruciatingly slow. I don't know. What do you want? Faster satellites?
That's funny. That's good. That's fun. I like that.
Then she goes on to tell him that you're quite famous in version 4. I come from. What do you have to gain or lose? You can lose your legacy, or you can gain, some power. And this is actually good. You're known as the father of the future. You brought humanity back from the edge of extinction, and there'll be statues that grace capitals with you, or you can die alone in your own 90-proof vomit.
Is there a choice there, really, Stuart?
It's not really. No, but she could be manipulating you as well. Like
she could be.
She
is.
But I don't get this. Renee Picard either boards a spaceship and makes a discovery that renders your work obsolete, or doesn't. And if she doesn't, I've seen the results. And basically, Earth's an ecological freefall. They call you in to help, and you become the savior of humanity. You're the man. But we got to get rid of Picard.
Which I find odd because Earth is actively said it's ecologically destroyed in the future. He doesn't save it, he just puts a shield over it.
Yeah, which is like the shield tech, which I saw similarities in.
Which links in beautifully. So he invented a tech 400 years earlier. Like, he's a geneticist, he's not a botanist, he's not a dude
He does whatever he needs to do, apparently. He can disable the Tesla so it doesn't run people over. I mean, that's a skill.
Well, yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, I just don't know why she doesn't... Well, she should probably have to assimilate him as soon as she can. I would assume he has to be out of the story very quickly next week, because she wouldn't take the risk of not assimilating him.
The only thing he's got going for him is he's a VIP with the NASA people.
Yeah.
So he can get into mission control.
Yes. And in fairness, Seven did mention how inferior metals equal inferior nanoprobes, and so she could say,
yes,
anyone I assimilate is going to die horribly, YOLO, so I better not do that to Sung because I actually need him legitimately. So I can see that being logical, but, you know, Queens don't necessarily work in that sort of way. But I like it in general, you know, she's using her knowledge, she's using her, not seduction, but like, she says it in a very effective way. And she definitely grabs him, and now he's lost everything. He's lost his life's work.
His funding.
His funding, yeah, his funding. He's now, I think, vaguely criminal. I think it said you broke the law, so you probably could have criminal proceedings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I love how they intercut her dialogue with Picard and the other people's in this last little bit. But, yeah. Anyhow, they basically come to the conclusion that the transporters on La Serena are broken. The Borg Queen needs La Serena for some reason to get a 400-year jumpstart on.
It's the only tech on the planet, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's also Confederation tech, which she knows.
And then, yeah, he gives her what she requires for more advanced nanoprobes, I assume. And, yeah,
it gives all the metals and such, which obviously speeds up her faceness. And then, really awkwardly, he now has a strike team. And it's a really, really bad edit. Because, as I say, it's edited around a conversation in the other scene. So if it's real time, how have we shifted from...
Yeah.
It's a really, really bad edit. And he hasn't got money anymore. So how's he hiring these people?
Yeah. But to get to the La Serena, Picard says we're going to use Talon's transporter. So
which is fine.
She's going to be back in it. And I'm sure she's going to run into Wells, and they're going to strike up a friendship or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess. But it's sad the whole thing revolves now around just getting back to the ship, the crap ship set. It's like, that's the epic finale, is having a shootout in the Chateau Picard near to a ship. It's like, okay.
It really looks like they're on La Serena. The wall lights, the railings, the stairs going up. It just feels like the La Serena. I really thought it was, and it didn't make sense to me. Damn.
And then she walks up to a guy, assimilates him, sort of, but it's not, because it's brain green energy, which is not how simulation looks.
And he gets cool little circuitry pathways on his face.
Which is not how that works either. And it's like the brain's in the head, so that's the bloodstream, but why the bloodstream? Like, just do the classic simulation, have the veins go black. Like, this is not necessary.
And Mario says the mercenaries were just super soldiers from the program he ran, I think. He called in a favor. Because he does say, "Thank you, General, they'll be perfect." So yeah, perhaps.
Ooh.
Might have something on the General that blackmail-wise or something.
Hey, if that was said in proper dialogue, that would be great.
Might be next episode.
If that's what they've thought. But you would think General would get information that he just got his funding revoked and his illegality, because, you know, the prize officer.
If you owe somebody your life, or they have blackmail material on you, you'll help them out. Yeah,
I suppose.
He seems like the kind of guy that would have something on everybody just to call in favors.
Yeah, I suppose. But it's a very odd end. It escalates massively in the last 1 minute to set something up for next week.
Yes.
It's not an appropriate build situation.
Did love the music at the end, too. The first contact Borg Queen music was very well.
Always good. But it really does just imply that next week we're gonna get a Borg versus human shootout. Yeah, or fight, sure. It's just, but
they need to bring back the TOS fight music. That's all I'm saying. They
okay.
drop out other music. They need to have that at least once.
That's your big takeaway from this week, is it?
Yes.
Mm.
Speaking of, I love how the original Battlestar Galactica movie was incorporated into the new show, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they really cared about canon, Stuart, even when it's a bit confusing with what is canon and isn't canon. Because the Cylons are canon, the Vipers are canon, the Raiders are canon. From the first Silent War, but everyone got murdered, so how can they be? Yeah.
See what's on my desk now?
Good, man. You haven't got to Pegasus yet, have you?
Yeah, I just got the last episode to watch of it.
Oh. Do you love Pegasus now? The ship design? Do you love it?
Ship design's cool. I still can't stand Ensign Rome. She's a bitch.
Oh, she's fantastic.
Any fucking time.
Admiral Kane. She's perfectly cast in that role. Perfectly cast. Yeah, but you understand why? You know, she had to.
I thought she'd be all friendly and junk, and she's just an asshole.
Well, she's the savior of that version of humanity. You know, she had to be there and be like, yeah, I'm a military.
I haven't seen the last part of it. Don't spoil it.
Well, just to be there. But obviously, watch Razor. I mean, I get there's a watch order. Make sure you watch the watch order, because Razor has a very specific point, etc. And that's the sad thing when we want to talk about BSG. It's more interesting than Picard. Yeah, $50 more, guys. We've got our minimum.
$50 more, guys. Let's go. And another 25 likes to get to 200. Let's do it. One more person to join. We don't have any, but the goal was two. We'll do it with one for now. Let's get to these super chats. Lee Walsh, £5. I hope Q gets some form of redemption, and it's one last test for Jean-Luc and not just him going mad because he's seen his death. Amen.
I don't even know if they know. Well, they do, but
yeah, the soldiers had Discovery looking armor. Yes, they did.
I thought that.
Yeah. Ozzy throws in $2. It doesn't hurt. It only tickles at first.
Yeah, and you would think the other super soldiers would say, "I don't want green energy flowing in my brain. I'm gonna actively because I'm gonna
pull my gun now and try to stop you."
I was waiting for that moment and her for to run in and assimilate them all and be more fancy, but whatever.
She's wearing the Borg outfit in the next episode.
She is. I don't know how she makes that.
Just rips it off the body of the torso of the other Borg.
But there isn't a body underneath it. It's a robot body. It's not a body.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't know.
So guys, you got your assignments. We need 20 more likes. We need $50 more. We need one person to join the channel. It would be amazing.
It would be. And I really want to know you guys' scores, because now is the time we'll do our final review, including if it's different after our full review, because we tend to have slightly different thoughts. And then I want to know your scores out of 10 for enjoyment and for this and for Picard, both seasons in general, because those are interesting different scores. So vote out 10. Super chat, any amount for any score helps out measurably, and non-super chats I will read out myself. So Stuart,
yes.
How do you feel? And has this review changed your mind at all?
Not really, no. It did. He did help me with that end scene because I thought they were on La Serena. It's like, how the hell they get to France? Did they beam there? Because that would really raise some eyebrows of those mercenaries. But hey, so it kind of maybe improved it a little bit. That being said, pacing was strange this week. The first watch through was more fun because I kept waiting for that Duquesne reveal, and there's so many close calls with it. Like, oh, aliens, he's talking, oh, he's got the comm badge, oh, there's just so many, and then it just fizzled out. And I think that overall just ruined the whole episode for me as a whole, besides the fact the rest of it sucked anyway. There's unanswered questions like the boots. The boots are a big deal for me, I'm sorry. At least we got to see some 7 of 9s, so that was good. But overall, it was just kind of painful. Picard felt like Picard. He gave that speech of saving the future and amazing. Any interactions with the Duquesne actor or Agent Wells was, I think, really well done. Those scenes were fantastic, in my opinion. Even though he wasn't Duquesne, the actor's a good actor and he pulls off that role well.
Although, do you think that you said fantastic, in contrast to the less good stuff around it? They're not fantastic by themselves, but in context of this episode, they stand up better.
I disagree. I think they're.
No, it was a question. It wasn't. It was more just an open question.
Yeah, I think they're good on their own because Guinan feels more like Guinan. Picard feels like strong, confident Picard that we know and love from TNG, and the Duquesne actor really pulls off a good FBI agent guy, with dedication to his job, or at least getting the answers he wants. I think that was all well played. Yes, in comparison to the rest, it was brilliant, but it would have been good had the rest of the stuff been brilliant too. You know what I mean? So it's not in contrast at all. The Rios stuff with Teresa was nice and cute, and it's kind of hinting towards the fact that he's going to end up staying, which I don't know how that's going to play out with timeline changes and stuff, but hey. What else happened? Oh, the flashback stuff was like the Vulcans were well represented. Their tech looked right. They looked good. Didn't have a problem with the mind melding or the transporter. I don't know why everybody's all up in arms about that. But I think the flashback scenes, they should have changed those, removed them altogether, and just had him be Duquesne, who somehow lost his memory and has been stuck in the past. He knows aliens exist, or he thinks he knows aliens exist in some other way, just because of his residual memories. But he's got a block. He doesn't know that he's actually Duquesne.
You know, I think that if you go onto the YouTube search history, that thing where it shows trends, the name Duquesne and Star Trek have now been Googled more in the last 1 week than they have in all of human history.
I wouldn't be surprised.
The amount of times you said it, I'm just thinking more than you've ever said that name in your entire life put together.
I'll never forget it now. I didn't remember his name was Duquesne when we first.
Yep, I did.
It's the actor from Relativity.
Yep.
It took me a while to walk onto the name, but
you know what I mean. It's just the amount of times you're saying it there, just like it.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, it was still kind of just a episode. Again, stretching a premise razor thin and adding more things. Like now we got Borg mercenaries. We've got the Teresa and Rios thing. How are they going to deal with that situation? How is Talon and Agent Wells going to factor into this? Like they're adding stuff at this last minute, but it's not really ramped up yet, and we only have 2 episodes left.
And can I ask you, how many of those, so you mentioned the subplots, how many of them do you actually care about?
I care about anything with Agent Wells because I'm just hoping for the best that he is actually Duquesne.
Okay.
The Talon stuff needs to be explained. Is she actually Laris somehow? Or is Laris her?
So you care about that then? Okay.
Yeah, I do. The mercenary stuff is kind of a non-starter. It's just going to fizzle out at some point, but they're going to be the big bad for the next 2 episodes, which actually they're probably going to be the crew of the interdimensional transborg shippy thing. I don't know. I don't really care about that too much. The Teresa and Rios stuff, as much as I like Teresa, I do not want him to stay because he is Rios and he makes a good Starfleet captain. I really like the character. So him staying would be an absolute travesty and a waste.
But it's fine. So his descendant will be on Stargazer because everyone's descendant looks like them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's it. That's exactly it.
Riosa. That'll be his name.
He'll still exist because it was a predestination paradox. He had to go back in time, meet Teresa, have offspring who eventually led to his own birth. That's work. Exactly what has to happen.
Because timeline gets reset because they never went back in time to fix time. So sorry.
But they don't understand how time works.
I know they don't.
Small little threads and loops. Come on now. Anyway, score-wise, here we go. I don't know how. I've been battling with this in my head. How I was going to score this. I still don't know. So as we go into this, I still don't know.
We'll see. Well, any super chats. See if there's anything to distract you briefly.
Yes. Yes. I'll read the super chats. And guys, super chat your scores. I want to read some super chat scores. So don't forget the last super chat slot's still available.
Oh, Nathan. Guinan came to Earth on a Discovery shuttle. Oh.
Ray Ricks, 2 pounds. They couldn't be bothered to animate tubules.
Well, I mean, you can. I mean, there's something there, but yeah.
In the green like circuitry thing that was in her finger that transferred was probably more complex to do than tubule, honestly. Scotchy Scotch throws in $10. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed the high level arcs of both seasons, but the details feel superficial and forced. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, Jeff Harris, welcome to the rank of captain. We did get a new member. That is amazing.
Ranks me instantly.
Jeff. Yes.
I love you, man. Yes. But the ease at which you rose to the ranks. I've been working years. I'm still not a captain, and yet you just...
Rev Law, I banned rocked YouTube. Thank you. Puts in €10. The not time agent thing feels like your Snoke theory sucks all over again. Setting something up for the fans just to kick them in the balls, fool the fans on purpose, and laugh at us. Yeah, but if they twist it at the last second and go, it actually was Duquesne, and it was a mind meld gone wrong, they were trying to alter his memory somehow, or they did it deliberately because it was a wrong.
That's really interesting, yeah.
That'd be interesting, cool. But yeah.
And
guys,
it's just doubly weird though, because the guy on the bus was actually the guy on the bus.
Yeah.
The real actor.
Yeah.
It's just...
188 likes. Let's get 12 more likes to get it to 200. Now, as for my score.
Now, end the poll. I'll do one more brief. I want to do a new poll. So, briefly, who was the best performance this week? Q wins out 38%. Not Duquesne, 28%. 79, 22%. Picard, 12%. Oh.
And Jeff Harris has been watching you guys for years. Figured I'd come on board officially. Well, thank you so much. It is good to have you rise up from enlisted personnel to actually having rank. Good job.
Those pips,
now
man.
Officer.
4 pips for a bow. Just give all the training. Hopefully, went to command training. Otherwise, you might be a bad influence on the crew.
Your pips are in the mail. Trust us. I'll get right on that.
Well, they're going to the mail in the prime timeline. I don't know if you live in the conversion timeline. Like, hey, if you temporal shift, it's not our fault, okay? That's why they're lost in the mail, because you just swapped universes. So, Stuart, what's your score on this episode?
Oh, well, hold on. Reeve Law, I banned Rock YouTube throws in €2. Why do you still put faith in these writers? Because Star Trek inspires the best in people, and if people love Star Trek, they will deliver.
But also, they did make episode 1 and 2, which were excellent. So they can
season
make...
3 sounds amazing so far.
So they can make top-tier Star Trek. And they can make...
And we got Prodigy and Lower Decks, which is fantastic.
And they're all different writing teams, so they have nothing in common besides read each other's main scripts and say, oh, okay, we can't do this or this.
Yeah. Turd Ferguson, $5. Rios is now Fry from Futurama. He is his own ancestor. Yes. All right, so my scores for this season. Enjoyability. If it had been Duquesne, the score would have been much different. I will say that. That was a huge disappointment. I'm going to give this one a 6 out of 10. Uh-oh, something doesn't jive.
And then compared to season 1,
it's still going to get a 6 out of 10.
Right.
That enjoyability score. See, this is a hard episode because, like I said, all the scenes with Guinan and Picard and Wells, I really enjoyed those scenes. The fact that it wasn't Duquesne was disappointing. However, they were all well acted, well done, and I enjoyed them. The rest was crap. So that raises it up for me. It's like half an episode of it's good. Parts are good. So anyway, how about you?
I was going to do the second poll as well, where you put in your super chats of what you guys vote, so our scores. I had a poll. What was it going to be?
And Stephen W. Fathry throws in $5. I never thought he was going to be Duquesne once I learned Terry Metalis had worked with this actor on 12 Monkeys. Well, it's still a stupid reason for it not to be Duquesne, though. He was Duquesne. And even that, he worked on 12 Monkeys as an agent that helps people with time travel. Like, Jesus Christ, it writes itself. New poll is up. Are you more or less excited for the last 2 episodes? More excited, less excited, or the same? Good poll.
Thanks.
Before we get into your final thing, though, Cornelius Iron, $10.
Thank you.
I think Wells is Duquesne, and the Vulcan story was a lie to get Picard to share what he knows about revealing he's from the future. I like that. But it's a little... Yeah, I want that to be true. Let's leave it there.
I mean, we explain why we put so little money into the flashback. But you wouldn't need a flashback if it was a lie.
Exactly.
And his acting was very believable as an actor emoting, oh my god, this happened in my past, the trauma. Like, very believably done. He really sold
I wish
it.
it would have been all first person too. Like I wish we wouldn't have seen the kid. Wish we saw the flashlight, the Vulcans, the hand coming towards, and then get a reveal later that it was actually an adult Duquesne who got mind melded, and it actually is Duquesne. And his memory got scrambled a little bit.
And the light was actually his phaser.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, cool. And a Rebel Poet says 6 still counts as good? Question mark.
It's definitely good compared to season 1, and like I said, just for those interrogation scenes alone, I will watch this episode again because I think those are well done. Okay,
so there's a problem with these sorts of rating systems whereby when episodes do things bad, it lowers the score. But if it does something good and it's still okay, you can still get at least a 5. You have to do bad things to lower the score because it's still going to be okay. So you gave it just above average because some parts of it were good and the rest was below average and it averages out, but a bit higher.
Yes. Yeah.
But I mean, none of these episodes are going to get like a 2 or 1 because that would be like that. Like now, I would give Discovery some episodes of season 1 like 2s or 1s if I was go back to watch. Like the contrast now is worse, but it's not bad. It's just not good. But you can't disrespect the effort went in. It's just so it's a hard scale because we're not gonna say. I mean, further YouTubers would be like 2 out of 10. It's like really.
Like even Spock's brain wouldn't get a 2 out of 10 for me. There's still some good stuff in Spock's brain. The episode, so we'd probably maybe get a 4.
And it's like Star Trek 5. There's a lot of shit and some really good. It averages out very confusingly. With Insurrection, there is a few bits of good and a lot of mediocre.
We should start giving scores for each scene as we finish each scene.
Oh my god.
That scene's a 2 out of 10. That would be more accurate.
That is true. That is a.
You could get 2 or 1s from scenes for sure.
And then a dedicated moderator has to keep track of them and do an average out and tell us what our score is. We'll give our own personal score, and they'll say, "Oh no, Stuart, your score is actually 4.726." Yeah. It's like, right. And I give it a 9.
Honestly, scenes could definitely get 1s or 2s.
Yes.
But whole episodes when there's actually some characters that you like and they're acting like they're supposed to. Boom, it raises it. So
Rebel Poet 71 says, if you weren't Trekkie, would you consider this to be good television? No. Obviously not. But it's entirely revolvent around the Star Trek legacy, so of course not.
Yeah.
But that's not what it is. It's a 57-year-old legacy show with legacy characters in a legacy world dipping into a big story. You can't look at it that way. So of course it wouldn't be good. But it's also serialized storytelling,
How about you though? Did this change your view on it when we talked about it at all, or no?
Well, I've clearly had more problems than I thought I had with it. There's more little things of issue. And guys, do seriously put in your score. I really want to read out what your scores are for this. Out of 10, right now, put them in. I want to know. Yeah, no, it's just, like I said, all B plots. I mean, really, it's the same sort of opinion, but just, it doesn't excel in anything. And it really feels the lack of usage of sets, the lack of creativity there is really damaging. It shows how just a TNG briefing room feels something.
Yeah. 2
people in this little office space feels nothing. Like there's a complete distract, and this scene could very easily have been Patrick Stewart playing Duncan Drax, and Elson Dre. They could be anyone from any show. There's so little Star Trek being pulled in besides that they are people. It's very, very confusing. Yeah, guys, keep putting in scores. But it doesn't do much bad, as we said, and that's the criteria of going below 5. But the thing is, I've got scores in front of me. It doesn't feel like it's the worst of the season because other episodes are like boring. This isn't boring, which is a plus, but it's not engaging. But but the scores are all high. Now again, everything's got contrast. I would now give other episodes worse scores this season had I known. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. 100%.
I was probably going to say 6.5. Which isn't good for me.
No.
And I do think episodes in season 1 are some more... I mean, certainly than Penthe, obviously. But just more pep than this. And it's just Picard has... Yes, he's a stronger character, but it's so little... I would love to do an edit. How much screen time Patrick Stewart has in season 2. You know what I mean? Out of 10 hours, is he in 2 hours? Is he in an hour 30 of actual screen time? Because he's barely in this episode. Like, relative... He might be in, 7 minutes of the episode? 8 minutes? Maybe 10? Probably 10, but it has a certain... There's so many plots that he just doesn't feel as important as he could, should, would. So overall, I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say 6. I don't think I can give it anything higher than a 6 for overall. Which actually means it's worse to season 1 than it is to this season. Yeah. Damn. Weird. And do you want to know what we gave the first episode, Stuart? To remind us.
A 9.5.
You gave Stargazer 9.6, and I gave it a hard 9 because I thought I got to give myself room if it gets better. I said that.
Yes.
I got to give myself room.
I know you said that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, who knows? All right. Well, let's see what's going on here. We're still 6 likes away from 200.
And thank you to the channel member.
So hit that like button. Another $30 would be an awesome way to close out. We still have the last super chat slot. We have Cornelius Iron right now that has that. If anyone wants to snipe in with a couple bucks, you can maybe snag that last super chat slot and get the prestige that comes with that. Your rank pips will also be in the mail, or your trophy at some point.
Yes. But I'm actually kind of amazed that this episode is being universally disliked, I feel like. Of all the episodes. Not hated, just wasn't good. I've not really heard anybody like it actively. Which is so interesting, you know? Even, yeah. Anyway, non-super chat scores though, so I really want to know what you guys think. We both gave it in the 6 range. Colin, 6.5. Metallica fan, 5.5. Rob Poet, 6. Oh, sorry, that was in reference to you. John Smith, 6. Oh, he hates if he said 6. Nathan Head, 8. Trekyards, 2. Joanne 626, 5. Metallica fan 5.5. Eric 6. Colin 6.5. Lacereth 7 for Q. Okay. Andrew 5. John 6. Raven 7. Turd 6.5 filler. But it's not filler, it's just stretching. There is a difference. Nathan 8 again. John Sims 2. Eric 6. Billy -1, which is not a number you can give. John 6. Shocky 3, Wave 6.5, Alan 6.9, Taylor 5, Rebel 2, again, Chuck 4.5, Silent Space 5.5, George 5, Good Old Gamer 6.5, Naysayer 6, Aussie 7, the ever positive Aussie, Anton 6, Jeff. Oh, Aussie, what's your catchphrase for this season? Have you got one yet? Because you're 8 out of 10, so if you haven't found one yet, that's not so good. What's your catchphrase, Aussie?
Catchphrases for the win.
The great koala demands it.
Grant McGregor. How? Put towards in $10.
Oh, thank you.
How I would rate Duquesne. The story is true, but at the early age I was given a new life with a new family. Bam. Confined time agent. Groomed like old Red Scare stories of Russian family spies. Damn.
Illusion. I mean, oh shit.
Wavicle, $2.
Thank you.
Going to the last super chat slot. Snipe. We're still need $12 at least. If you guys are willing, we'd appreciate that. I don't know. I'm just. It's a lot to wrap up in 2 episodes, and I'm just kind of disappointed because this episode was 48 minutes, which was nice to see when I started it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
All the hope.
And it just fizzled out over those 48 minutes as the countdown timer ticked. So the other ones, I hope they're longer, closer to 60 minutes each, because there's a lot they need to do in a short amount of time, and I don't think they can do it. I'm afraid this is going to end on a cliffhanger, and that makes me sad.
Which, in fairness, though, that Discovery did give its last episode like 57 minutes, and it was a good send-off to a mediocre season. And if Terry's back for the last episode, he can just obviously throw away all the current plots and just do what he wants. But I'm wondering if he gave the signposts, the start and the end, and then he left the other team to sort of do the in-between, but turns out they couldn't go beyond where they had to, like, they couldn't let them know Q's plan to episode 10, so they were like, well, we can't use Delancey much then, can we? Because we can't develop it. I can imagine that maybe like they were stalled by the development because they had a start and end point that Terry wrote. but there's not enough in between. They can't do twists because the twists, they haven't got money for them. It's just strange. Like I said, I'm not sad, I'm just disappointed. This show should have been better, could have been better.
You're not angry, you're disappointed. I think you're still sad that you're not getting what we could have got.
And this is, Patrick's last go around as Picard, and this is not good for him. And this is not giving him a swan song as the character. He's already died once. Talk about ending your career. I mean, so was Generations, obviously, as well for Kirk. But talk about ending your Picard journey as the weakest you've ever been in. Now, he was better in season 1 of TNG than he is in this show, and that's bad. But it's not his fault. Not his fault at all.
Indeed. Oh, we hit our 200 likes. Can we get that last $12?
Yes.
Just in some snipes would be awesome.
That's true.
Just saying.
We're right there. But then, we've got 2 videos coming out this weekend. One is about episode 1, because that has stuff to talk about.
Which we saved in case there was nothing. And guess what? Boom, baby.
Boom, baby, yeah.
Right near the end.
And I'm filming another bit of Trek Shorts on Monday this week. I've got Marcus Harriman coming back in. We're filming 3 different things for him. 4, well, one's a cameo, so 4 different things for him. I'm CGIing his face a bit. You'll see that later on. Also doing a docu something. And I'm having him I'm having him play the future version of himself from Convergence, which is fun. So he gets to kind of jump forward into another timeline thing. So that'll be pretty interesting. And that'll be a fun day because he gets to be like old him, young him, middle him. It's a whole thing there.
And Jeff Harris threw in $20 with no comment, but thank you so much, Jeff. Saved the stream for sure. And Grant McGregor, $5, going for the last super chat slot, I think. Best Star Trek I've seen all week was These Are the Voyages Outbreak. Had a nice CGI pass of a Nova class ship. Yeah, I watched that as well. That was a very well done episode. I just wish they'd learn how to put on their fucking comm badges straight. But hey, that was annoying. Like very crooked. Next scene, fine. It's like it's a comm badge. How hard is it to see it's crooked?
That's the advantage of Velcro. It sort of stays, whereas a lot of people like to use magnets because you just take it on and off, but then it easily can slide out of arrangement. Easily. Velcro,
but the person behind the camera should be like, cut, stop, it's crooked.
I've done that before. As you'd expect from me. Yeah, although I will say Outbreak, even though I previs, they cut my CGI in half almost to fit the music, which meant that my shots were nicer originally. They had a certain pace, and so there's a bit of some harsh editing in my shots which is annoying because they took time to render. So I wish they'd told me we're going to cut them by a third because it would have saved me like a day of 2, But yeah, check out his next one. The next one I can say is really ambitious. We're doing something that only Star Trek Continues has done. I'll tease that I'm doing digi-doubles for, which is exciting because that's again rare. I don't know if anyone does that except me really. And
4:3 aspect ratio.
No.
Thank God. Please don't.
It is fun to work in 4:3. I did it for Yorktown. It is genuinely fun to work in 4:3.
It's fun to work in. It's not fun to watch. Come on, big TV. Let's go.
Oh, babe.
Ozzy has come up with his catchphrase with $2.
Oh,
thank you. It says his catchphrase is, "It doesn't hurt. It only tickles at first."
Yeah, that's fair. You did it. I would have to have thought, but yeah, that's good.
Raven DeGray throws in $10 super chat. No comment, but thank you so much.
10 is a lot. 10 is legitimately a lot, so thank you so much. Now, did you manage to see the new Halo today or not?
No, I actually started watching the last one today.
Oh, okay.
Didn't get all the way through. Live had to start. I had some shit to do outside, and so I was busy.
Because someone asked what we thought of Halo so far. So I haven't seen today's either, but I saw last week's. Any general thoughts on Halo?
I'm loving it. I think it's great. I think I love the armor. I would like to have this. You would feel so empowered in that armor, like just the way you walk around. It's like,
it would just be great if he kept his fucking helmet on for more than 12 seconds. I mean, that's the biggest complaint with everybody with the show, because he literally he's never taken the helmet off in the entire show and seen his face, and they're embarrassing themselves a little bit with him being out of it too much, because that's like part of the personality is the helmet. Because it's a really well designed helmet. It's a lot of character. I mean, we know Mandalorian can do it.
Yeah, they do show it a lot with him holding it or sitting on a rock, and then they pan away from it. It's like this is a thing we know, but hey,
we know you want this. Here's a guy's face instead. I'm enjoying it so far. I think the Asian lady subplot is weak overall, but it's because the actual Halo story is much better than that. So it's kind of like, why are we giving this screen time when there's a real story over here? But it'll lead somewhere, I guess. That's the hope. And they got 2 seasons. Although it's weird to see Halsey be a bit, well, although, boy, her younger wasn't much of a de-age, was it? It's like, but John was a kid. He's now like 30. She doesn't look 20 years younger. I'm just saying. I don't know if you agree with that, but she's like, how are you the same age?
Yeah. Kind of.
In the game, she's like a white-haired grandma sort of vibe, which is why she can be working on this stuff for like 60 years. But she's like a attractive blonde.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what? How are you? I guess she could have been like 20, but although I did love the curveball that like the black husband, ex-husband, and then the daughter. What a nice twist! It's like, oh wow, okay, cool. You wouldn't think that from the initial. Didn't get any blonde genes. But that's a fun chemistry that we have to play on more, which is again not totally invented. That's all new. Keyes was not black. The Keyes family have a bad history of problematic things that happen to their lives because they're good soldiers. But what a cool way of like I mean, you wouldn't know this, but way of integrating them into the story was very like, ooh, that's a nice reinvention. Good idea.
General Grievous, $2. Going for the last super chat slot again.
Yes.
Ghost Rider for last half of season 2 is Ryan Johnson.
Okay. Oh. Well, no, because they kept Picard strong, so he can't be. He would have made Picard drink milk from the tits of someone. He would have gone to a strip bar and drink from a big stripper.
Oh my god!
I mean that's Ryan's calling card. Yes.
One thing I have to say about Halo though is I thought the USNC was supposed to be like the good guys. They just seem like a bunch of assholes. They
are the good guys. It's because you're seeing them in contrast with like actively hating them people, but most people like the UNSC. Well, it's like in the Afghanistan, the Americans are bad. You ask any Afghan, and not any, but you know what I mean. Like it's contrast, isn't it? If you're living in the world where it's peaceful, then they're good guys. If you're living with people that hate them, they're bad guys. It's an interesting way of showing the absolute negative. Yeah, it is a bit weird. Well, I do like they made the other Spartan lady emotionful. I'm surprised no one's caught it yet, given the fact they're all really smart. But it's fun.
Yeah, and Matt Boardman says, "I'm loving Moon Knight. I'm loving Moon Knight too. I'm a huge.
I haven't seen that yet.
Fan of ancient Egypt, and it's really like a great show. It's a great show.
The trailer looked weird as hell. I have no idea what it's about, and didn't make me want to watch it.
It's supposed to. The first episode is really what the hell is happening.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. You need to watch it. I know you'll really like it. You like the way it's set up.
Yeah, it didn't make me want to watch it from the trailer. I'll be honest. I mean, there's so many shows like you can prioritize. Like Loki looked fantastic. It was great. Haven't seen the Hawkeye because I just haven't got around to it. And it was like, it looks okay. Like it didn't look great. It looked okay. And then
Matt worked on Hawkeye.
He did.
Matt Boardman.
Yeah. Yes, he did. But it is kind of fun to have like a buffer of Marvel shows to watch. It's kind of
exactly.
It's kind of weird. How many of how far are they through Moon Knight then?
They're episode 4 right now.
Okay. And does it feel linky to the MCU? Like, is there like grander universe stuff? Because it just seems so abstract.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
But the character and everything definitely fit right in with everybody. Oscar Isaacs is amazing in the role. So
Oscar confuses me because I only saw him for the first time in Star Wars, and he felt like an early 30s. But he's not. He's actually much older. And then he suddenly looked older in all his other films, but then he can look younger if he wants to be. I don't know what age he's trying to... Like, he confuses me his age. So he was this young whippersnapper, but he really isn't. And then, like, dude, he's like white-haired, like, oh, no, well, are you old or not? I can't tell. It just confuses me. Because I thought of him as like the young Han Solo, then it's like... Anyway.
Let's see. Raven DeGray, $10.
Oh, thank you.
What do you think about the Picard movie rumors set after season 3?
Stuart, what do you think about the Star Trek 4 rumors about Thor coming back and what about the Section 31 rumors and what do you think about the...
I'll believe it when I'm watching it. How's that?
Yeah. Yep. But you can't have Picard without a Picard in it, so he's either in it or it's not a Picard movie.
Yep. Andrew Doughty puts in $1 for that last super chat slot. I think that's probably a good place to end it. Let's have Andrew win this thing.
Yes.
So,
but yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. Check out our
Thanks
content
so
on the weekend, and we'll see you guys next week sometime.
We will. Wish me luck on Monday, guys. Filming some more Star Trek. Thank you so much. I'm putting him in Picard flashback uniform. It's always fun to work with. Until next time, he is Captain Foley.
I am. He is Commander Cochran.